Hey, what's going on, you guys? Thank y'all so much for tuning in. So today I have the 2018 Alfa Romeo Stelvio. Now this is going to be Alfa's first venture into the SUV market, and I'm very excited to see what they've done here. So this car is built to compete with the likes of, BMW, Audi, Mercedes, Lexus, and I'm really interested to see if this car matches up to the competition. So I do want to give a big thank you and a huge shout out to Alfa Romeo of Fort Worth, Texas. I do have all of their information in the description box below, so be sure to show them some love. They're giving out the best pricing on these Stelvios right now in Fort Worth, so please reach out to them if you guys are interested in this car at all. So to start off, guys, this is going to be the Volcano black paint coat, and it looks very good, especially on this overcast day. So if I come over here, I'll give you guys a little bit closer look at that. But as you can see, it's just a very, very pure black. It almost has, a transparent gloss to it, and you can kind of see the flake in there. It's a little hard to see today, but I mean, it's just a very good color, and it really accentuates the lines on this car, which, by the way, I love that this car doesn't have a lot of sharp creases. All the lines on here are just very soft and make it look just real bold and aggressive. You do have 20-inch alloy wheels on here. So you guys can see those are the alloy wheels. You have your Alfa Romeo signature right here in the middle. You're going to have your Alfa Romeo branded brakes right there, which look really good. And they are wrapped in Continental tires, so you guys can see right here. Now coming back up to the front, now the first thing you notice when you see this car in person are the headlights. I mean, the headlights on here are just massive, and I do want to apologize about the wind, by the way, you guys, but the headlights on here are huge. You have this giant LED running all right here. You do have bi-xenon headlamps on here. You've got Alfa's signature 3-part grille, and you do have that chrome strip coming right here on the bottom, which of course has the Alfa Romeo signature right there in the middle. If you can see through there, you've got your radiator, and right under here you're going to have all of your intercooler bits to feed the turbocharger. And it's just a really, really good front design. I like it a lot. The hood looks really good. All right. So guys, there are multiple ways to get into the car. So this is going to be Alfa's signature key right here, if you guys can see that. See if I can get a little bit closer look for you. But that's going to be Alfa's key. Right here, you do have your lock, your unlock, your trunk, your remote start, your panic button, and you've got this beautiful Alfa written in cursive on the bottom. So we'll go ahead and unlock it with the key. Now you can unlock it with the key, or this does have Alfa Romeo's keyless entry. So if you come up to the door, you're going to have a black button right here. So if you press that, that's going to lock the car. Mirrors are going to fold in, and to unlock it, all you have to do is put your hand right behind here. There's a touch sensor. That's going to unlock the car, and your mirrors are going to fold out. So this is going to be just the black interior. And now coming over here to the door, guys, very simplistic door. So you do have this really cool sort of silver and gray pattern coming all across here. It's going to go right around the door handle. You have your lock, your unlock. This does have the Harman Kardon sound system, so you do have the speakers there. You have 3 memory seat settings right there. Right in here, you're going to have your handle, which you can also maybe double as a coin holder. Have all of your window controls, mirrors, and this is going to be to open your trunk. So if I push that, that's going to open the trunk. The trunk does open very, very high on this car, so getting in and out, ingress and egress in the back is very, very easy. Coming down here, you do have this really soft padded leather with this black stitching coming all across here. The armrest is very, very soft, as you guys can see. It's just really nice, supple leather. Down here in the door pockets, you do have a good amount of space in here, so you guys can see. And then of course you're going to have your bass speaker for your Harman Kardon sound system. Coming over here, you do have this beautiful silver plated Alfa Romeo kick plate right here. All the pedals are going to be aluminum, which look equally as good. Now coming along to the seats, these are probably my favorite my favorite thing about the car is the seats in here. You have very aggressive bolstering, so you have very aggressive bolstering here. On the thighs, you have a thigh extension, which you can pull that out right there. You have nice perforations running all through the middle. And you've got all of this contrast stitching running all along the side of the seat. I mean, you have at least 3 sets of stitching running here, 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 all along the top. And then of course you have your Alfa Romeo signature stamped right in the headrest, which looks really, really cool. So we'll go ahead and hop in, you guys. All right, so starting the Alfa Romeo Stelvio is very easy. All you have to do is get your foot, put it on the brake, and you do have your start button here, which this is probably one of the most solid start buttons I've ever pressed. And as you can see here, you can just see how much pressure I'm putting on just to push this button. And if I push that, that'll start the car.
Stand Up for Jesus Ministries. Every week on my radio show.
So the steering wheel on here is really, really nice. You do have a little bit of a flat bottom here. You've got this nice silver accent coming all along here. Your Alfa Romeo stamp right in the middle. You do have this super supple leather coming all across the top. You do have black stitching right over here, which looks really good. And you have this sort of fabric coming right in here and on the bottom, which I'm not really sure what that is, but it does have a real nice grip to it, so I do like that. Over to the left of the steering wheel, you're going to have all of your cruise control settings. So you do have radar cruise control in this model. So if you hit that button, that'll control how many car lengths behind the car in front of you can stay. You push that down or up to set. Push this to turn on your cruise control, to turn off your radar cruise control, and you also have hill descent over here as well. Over here to the right, you do have your voice commands, all of your Bluetooth settings, your volume, your previous next. So very simple layout in the steering wheel, and I just love the slim design of everything. And now over here on the back, you do have full 100% aluminum paddle shifters, which are mounted to the column. And as you can see, it has a very solid thunk to it. So when I click it, I mean, they're just super solid paddle shifters, and they look really good. And if that gives you an idea, that's how big they are. I mean, they're just massive. And just the fact this SUV has those is pretty cool, and it really shows how much Alfa Romeo is really trying to appeal to that sporty nature. But over here to the left, you do have your vents right up here, and you twist them right to turn them off, twist it to the left to turn it back on. You do have all of your lights, push this for your fog lamps. You do have your automatic start stop right there. And of course you have your interior lighting right over here. Now the stalks behind the steering wheel are going to be for your lights, of course, but if you guys can see right here, this is going to be your lane keep assist. So if you push that button, that's how you turn on and off your lane keep assist. Over here to the right, you do have all of your windshield wiper settings. So to activate your rear wind wiper, you're going to push down, and if you guys can see there, that's going to activate the rear one. And you push it down again to turn that off, and then push up to activate your front wipers. And then you do have automatic wipers right here. You have two different settings for automatic, a more intense setting and a more mild setting. And then you flick this all the way up to turn your wipers to the highest setting, or else you just have to hold this up. So that's kind of different, but, and then you do have a button here for your menu. So as you can see, it says menu right there. And if I push that, that'll actually toggle through my menu settings right here. So I can go through MPG, I can show it to where my miles per hour is just right in front and center, my trip monitors, and then right back to my MPG. So you do have that, which is pretty cool. I do like that a lot. And of course you have your compass up there. And once again, if I go back over here and I click this lane keep button, you'll see it pop up right in the middle. And if I click it again, it'll turn off. So over to the left, you do have your gauges. Very clean, very crisp gauges. You know, they work really, really well. They're very easy to see when you're driving, which I do like a lot. You have your oil temperature right over here. Over here to the right, you have your speedometer, which is just, everything's a real nice, crisp, white LED, which I love. And then you have your fuel gauge over here, which is all digital and just looks very, very nice. Now, coming over here to the center. So for those of you who aren't a huge fan of the popular trend of putting the screens on top like this, so I know Mazda does it, Mercedes-Benz does it, BMW does it, and you know, there's a list of companies. Honda is starting to do it now. And you know, I don't mind that setup, but it's hard to ignore the fact that a flushed screen, you know, integrated within the design is always going to be just a little bit better. So I do love this screen a lot. It's very, very cool. It's just a really cool design, and it just makes this whole cabin just very unique. And you've got more of that kind of textured pattern running all across here, over there. And now, as far as all the screen settings, I'll get to that in just a second, but we'll move down here. You've got 2 vents right here, your hazards. You do have all of your AC controls. You have heated seats on both sides, heated steering wheel, fan speed, and then you have all of your temperatures over here. This doesn't have cooled seats, but I think that's only because I live in Texas and it's like 102 degrees. So cooled seats for me would be nice, but it's not a deal breaker. You do have a 12-volt right in here, USB plug, and if I push this back, I've got my cup holders, which as you can see are pretty deep cup holders. I push that one time to close. You do have your shifter right here in the middle. So if I put my foot in the brake, there's a button right behind here, and I'll push that, put it into drive. If I push it forward into reverse, you do have a backup camera that comes up with your guidance lines. So if I turn the steering wheel, it will turn with the steering wheel. And then click it down once for neutral, and then put it in drive and push it over to put it into your manual mode, at which point you will just fully rely on your paddle shifters. And then to put it in park, there's a P up top. You just push that, and there you go. You do have your different drive modes over here. So if I go up here, you are gonna see, if I put it into advanced efficiency, which is the A, that's your green economy mode. Flick it up one more time, that's your natural mode. So that's a default setting that the car will start in. And if I flick it up one more time, that's your dynamic mode. So everything's gonna tighten up, your throttle response is gonna get quicker, your shifts are gonna get quicker, you know, your steering's gonna get a little bit heavier, a lot more precise because it is full electric steering. And yeah, so pretty simple on there. It's a real solid twisting knob right here. You do have your volume settings over here, so you can adjust your volume right here. You can push left and right to skip, or to go previous and next, and then you push it down one time to mute. You do have this big knob here, which is going to control everything on your screen, your menu button and your option button. So now back up to this, guys. If I just scroll that dial left and right, it'll go through all the settings. I can push it down to click on settings. I can even go through and just mess with all of my, you know, infotainment settings. I can do a split screen, which is really cool. So I can have it to where it shows me my audio, my nav. So if I click nav, it'll actually show my nav on this side of the screen all the time. And then I can just, you know, go through all the settings over here, which is pretty cool. You have your car settings, which if you click that, you can do things like your tires, your maintenance, your oil levels. So you can always keep up with your maintenance in here, which is a very cool feature. And then if I go back one more time, navigation, phone settings, your media, all your Bluetooth, cool things like that. And then of course your radios, so like your AM, FM, XM, all that good stuff. And then you can actually go in your settings and of course adjust all of your driver assistance features. So things like your backup camera, auto park brake. You can also click your safety settings. So like your forward collision warning, which this does have. So if you're about to hit a car, it will slam on the brakes. That way you don't hit the car in front of you. Your lane departure warning, and you can turn all that stuff on or off. And you can even set yourself a speed limiter, so that way you're not going over 80 or whatever the case may be. And you can adjust your cluster, so all your trip zones, your phone information, warning buzzers, all kinds of stuff. You can get very in depth with this car, and it's just a very simple layout. And if I push this tab back towards me like that, that's going to be all of your presets. So you can save all your presets in there, and if I push forward, it'll go away. So as you can see right down here, those are all my presets. So once again, if I push down, it'll go right to that. So it's a very cool setup. I do like that a lot. Coming down a little bit further, you do have your parking brake. You've got a very nice, real thick, sturdy leather armrest right here, which if I rest my arm there's plenty of room for like my passenger to put, or actually my fiance to put her arm right here. And if I lift that up, you do have a good amount of storage space in here. It's all lined in felt, so nothing's gonna get scratched. You do have a nice LED light right there. I have my little tripod set up right in here. And of course you have another USB and auxiliary port. And that's pretty much gonna sum everything up, you guys. You know, this interior is very simple. I do like it a lot. And then coming up, you do of course have auto dimming rear view mirrors. You do have this real nice gloss black up here, which is gonna have all of your lighting. This specific one doesn't have a sunroof, but you can option for a sunroof. And then you do have your home link right up here. And then of course your vanity mirrors, which do have your light right over here, and then your card holders on each side. So guys, let's go ahead and hop in the back. All right, you guys, so coming in the back of the Stelvio, I have a good amount of room. These seats are very comfortable back here. That's the first thing I noticed. You do of course have your armrest back here with your cup holders. As far as leg room goes, I have a decent amount of leg room. I have this set to my position. Once again, I'm 6 feet tall, so me sitting in the front, this is how much room I have in the back. I want to say it's about maybe 2 to 3 inches or so. And as far as headroom goes, I have about the same, about 2 to 3 inches. And just the overall feel back here is really good. Very good armrests. You do have your map pockets back here. You have your vents back here. And you do have 2 USB plugs back here, so each person does have a plug, which is really nice. And other than that, guys, it's pretty much it. You know, it's pretty simple back here, which I really like. There's not a lot going on. And yeah, that about sums up the back seat. And just to give you guys a closer look, here are those USB ports down here, your rear vents, and if I fold down that armrest, there were the cup holders that I was talking about, and you have this cool Alfa Romeo signature in the back. Also, right down here, you do have a switch, and that's how you're gonna fold down the seat. So if I pull that, that'll fold down the seat. That way I can, you know, do what I need to do, get stuff in the back, whatever you may have it. So you can fold the seats down from here, or you can fold the seats from the back. So if I come along to the back, guys, which by the way, I do love the way the back of this car looks. This is the all-wheel drive model, so that's what the Q4 is gonna stand for. And you've got these big, nice, beautiful chrome tipped exhausts. So you do have the actual exhaust here, and you have this as kind of just kind of like a faux exhaust, but it looks really, really cool. Definitely not mad at them for doing that at all, because it looks really good. Now right under here, press that, and that's gonna fold up the lift gate. This is an automatic lift gate. Now coming through here, guys, you are gonna have this little guy here, so you can pull that, and that'll definitely you know, stop anyone from looking inside your car. You do have these here, so if I hit that, that'll fold down the armrests, or the seats right there. If I hit this one over here, same thing. Now they will fold down flat, it's just that my seat over here is pushed back a little bit too far. You do have a 12-volt right back here, and you have little hooks here as well. You do have your bass speakers here for the Harman Kardon sound system. And as you can see, I have my tripod and stuff back here, and there's a good amount of room in the back of this car. You definitely have enough room for pretty much anything. And then if you lift this up, you actually have a lot more storage space down here, which looks really good. And you do have your fix-a-flat kit right there. So this doesn't have a spare tire, so you are gonna have to do with a fix-a-flat kit. And if I come over here to the right, you are gonna have a little cubby that you can put small things. So like I have my GoPro in here, you know, these little nuts and bolts right there. So little small things that kind of make annoying noises floating around the back, you can have a spot for those. And coming up to the top up here, you do have 2 settings, so you can just close it, or you can close it and lock the car. So if you're just getting something out of your trunk, your car wasn't on, you can close it and it'll relock your car. That way you don't have to push a button on the door or push a button on your key. Alright, so taking a look under the hood, you guys, this is going to be Alfa Romeo's 2-liter direct injected turbocharged all aluminum 4-cylinder motor. Makes about 290 horsepower, 306 pound-feet of torque. You do have your stabilizer bar coming right here in the middle, which is really nice. You've got your Alfa Romeo cover on top, and you can actually see the turbocharger nestled right in there, which is pretty neat. So those are the figures, guys. Let's see how it drives. All right, you guys, so here we are in the Alfa Romeo Stelvio. So I'm very excited to drive this car. You know, I've heard a lot of great things. Obviously, when this car first debuted, I was just super blown away by the Quadrifoglio version, which obviously this is not that. But, you know, it's always interesting to see how a manufacturer can, you know, make a car such high performance, and then when you get into a vehicle like this that isn't as, you know, potent as the Quadrifoglio version, it's just a 2-liter direct injected turbocharged 4-cylinder, but Alfa does have this reputation, and they are marketing their brand to be, you know, extremely sporty, almost like, you know, BMW levels of sportiness. And obviously their goal is to even surpass BMW. And so ultimately, you know, this car's biggest competitor would be like a, you know, X3, X5, one of those two cars. You know, this Stelvio it's a weird size. It's not super big, but it's not really small. It's kind of right in the middle. It's almost like, I'm trying to think of a good comparison, like Ford Edge size. Obviously this does not compete with the Ford Edge. It's in a completely different class, but, you know, coming down these back roads, this car drives very well. It is a crossover, so it's not meant to be extremely sporty. You know, it does still have to have that composure and that quietness. I mean, this is a luxury car after all, so you do expect it to have a level of serenity. And, you know, coming around this corners, you know, I have it in dynamic right now. We'll put it in full manual mode. You know, it attacks these corners just so well. Oh man, it's a really good cornering car, so they definitely got that right. And you know, I'm gonna pop a little U-turn right here. I do want to get in a little bit of an acceleration run, but you know, just the finesse of this car so far, you know, my first impressions of this car are very, very good. You know, the composure is really good. The steering is very light, even though I have it in the dynamic setting. It is very light steering, but it's extremely quick and it's very precise. So a slight turn of the steering wheel, I mean, you're going exactly where you want this thing to go. But all right, so coming right here, it's in drive, dynamic mode. I'm gonna switch it into the manual setting. All right, so I'm gonna give it foot on the brake, give it a little bit of gas. It doesn't have launch control. I'm just trying to get the turbo spooled up a little bit. So get that going. Oh man, gosh. Yeah, this thing is quick. This thing is very quick, guys. Man, so okay, let me kind of explain what just happened, right? So right at the beginning, there was about a solid second, maybe second and a half of nothing. It was just dead. So obviously you got a bit of turbo lag right at the bottom. But once that turbo spooled up, it was just gone. I mean, obviously this has all-wheel drive, so this thing just took off. And that was like a sort of gravelly road. And so the fact that it got so much traction immediately was very impressive. And this gearbox is insane. I mean, this is the 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, so this is not a dual clutch, but this could easily replace a dual clutch transmission. I mean, it shifts so quick, and as soon as you click the paddle, it's literally just click, shift, accelerate, all within like 1 second. I mean, it is just very, very fast. I mean, the downshifts are good, so let me put it back in manual mode. If I downshift, I'm in 7th, 6th, 5th, fourth, give it some gas, shift, shift, shift. I mean, this thing is so quick. I'm glad they got that transmission thing right, because this thing is just, it complements the motor so well. And you know, here on the highway, it's really smooth. I mean, I hear a little bit of wind noise over here in like the left side of the car. I don't know if that's a window or anything like that, but it's very smooth. So I'll go ahead and put it in natural mode. So you have 3 different modes, like I said in my review. You have advanced efficiency, which is going to be your eco mode, basically, your natural, and then your dynamic. So we'll put it in natural, which is going to be the mode everyone's going to be driving in. RPMs are low, not a lot of motor noise coming in, and it's smooth. Back to the steering rack real quick. You know, this does have a very well handled chassis. So you know, I'm going about 70 miles per hour, and if I do this, you know, it has a good composure to it. And there's not a lot of cars I would do that in, you know, especially going 70 miles an hour in an SUV. It's very impressive. And as you saw, the steering rack is quick, you know, just a small turn of the steering wheel and it's just darting left and right. This motor definitely will push you back into your seat. I mean, this has about 290 horsepower, so it's the exact same motor that's in the Alfa Romeo Giulia. It's the exact same 2-liter, and I just think it's a really good motor. I mean, it does a very good job. It's got a pretty decent sound to it. As you guys can see, this thing just hugs this corner. Oh my goodness. Does a very good job. Shifting in the third. And the turn in is just so quick. And because this has all-wheel drive, it just sticks. And then you can just power out of the corners, shift and then go. It's just, it's amazing. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Well guys, I really hope that gave y'all a good idea of what this new Stelvio is like to drive. It is just, I mean, it's a great SUV. You know, it's got just enough practicality, it's comfortable, it's smooth, it's quiet, there's barely any engine noise coming in except for when you put it in, you know, dynamic and when you're really getting on it. But other than that, it's a phenomenal car. And I don't think anyone that gets this will be disappointed with it at all. And if anything, if I were to base the Quadrifoglio version off of this, I am just super excited to see how that thing drives, because this is great. This is just a really good car, and I think BMW should be very worried, because this thing, it's really good. It's that good, and I'm not exaggerating. Definitely get out there, test drive it for yourselves. But guys, I really enjoyed making this video for y'all. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. If you love cars, if you want to see more of my reviews, be sure to click up to the left to subscribe. Click up to the right if you guys want to see some more of my other reviews. And be sure to like this video, guys. I love doing this for y'all. And as always, thanks for watching.